I'd like you to welcome you to the Town of Pownal Select Board meeting, regularly scheduled meeting on January 12th, 2023 at 6 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Board member roll call.
Angie Rowley.
Amy Percy.
There you go. Bob in yet? Yeah.
It's not.
Okay.
Brian Harris.
Mike Gardner, and we're waiting for Bob. Approval of the agenda. On the agenda, I need to add an executive for contractual with action to follow. And let's put that, where do you want to put it, Tara?
Towards the end, well,
You want to put it as 14A,
yeah,
under non-returnable building materials discussion?
and we can get through it really fast.
Yep.
Get through the rest of the meeting really fast.
Right.
Bob's on his way. Just...
I'll wait a second for Bob to come in then, if everyone doesn't mind.
There he is.
And he wanted to, he's the one holding us up.
I better go get a chair then.
Oh, no, he's in.
No, he's coming, he's leaving in, you're fine. Bob, we did roll call, and, we did approval of agenda with adding an executive for contractual with action to follow. We put it down as 14A under non-returnable building materials discussion.
Sounds good. Sorry,
Nope, that's fine. So approval of agenda, public comment, approval of minutes of December 22nd, special meeting, December 22nd, select board meeting.
There was no September 22nd special meeting, it was canceled, and I forgot that it was canceled, and I made the agenda, so you can take that off too.
The 22nd.
Oh, I didn't catch that, sorry. So the approval of minutes are gonna be for the December 22nd select board meeting, January 5th special select board meeting, warrants, correspondence, transfer station fee discussion, BCAC clothesline follow-up, audit for an RFP, the audit RFP, sorry. So it should be RFP for the audit, sorry. Ballot article discussion and warning review, budget final discussion and approval, town report review, non-returnable building materials discussion, the executive for contractual with action, public comment, and adjourn. We will open up after the executive, for contractual, after the motions that need to be made are made, we will open it up at that point for public comment with a 3-minute limit on the comments, as standard is what we've been doing.
So move with a change.
Second. Any more discussion? Angie.
Aye.
Jamie.
Aye.
Bob.
aye.
Brian. Aye. Mike. Aye. Perfect. I'd like to open up public comment at this point.
8 people.
No one here?
No public comment.
Approval of minutes of December 22nd, 2022, select board meeting.
So move.
Second.
Any corrections, discussion, questions? All those in favor, Angie.
Aye.
Jamie.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Brian. Aye. Mike. Aye. Minutes of January 5th, 2021, it should be 2022, or 2023, sorry.
23.
Jesus.
I got 21 on the bottom, I got 22. I'm really,
Yeah, minutes of January 5th, 2023, special select board meeting. I'm not sure why I didn't pick that up when I was reading it.
so moved.
Second.
Any corrections other than the date on our agenda? And, questions, comments? All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Warrants. Accounts payable, new town hall, 12/29/2022, in the amount of $2,000.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Accounts payable, 12/30/22, $29,785.87.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Accounts payable 1/6/2023, $16,315.29.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Accounts payable 1/13/2023, $35,425.76.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Payroll 12/16/22, $14,352.86. Angie and Bob are in this one.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, Angie?
Abstain.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Abstain.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Payroll 12/30/22, $13,318.84.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Payroll 1/6/23, $11,374.52. I am in this one.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike abstain. Payroll 1/13/23, $11,881.96.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Thank you. Correspondence, we have one, Tara.
Just real quick one from Jennifer Boucher, Chair Parks and Rec. Dear Town Parks and Rec is seeking permission to apply for the Stewart Shop Holiday Match Program, which is accepting applications through the end of January 2023. We've applied for this program and received funding of $1,500 in each of the last 2 years. This has helped us pay for the expenses and improvements on the Center Street Park. I would ask that the Select Board please approve Parks and Rec request to submit this application. Regards, Jennifer Boucher.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor of Parks and Rec applying, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Transfer station fee discussion. I'd like to open that up right now.
Tom.
Everyone has their, paper in front of them, but
Originally, when Tara and I had our conversation, we decided to raise the permit fee $10, which would increase our permit permit fees total with 25,000. So we had $5,000 increase. But then I went back and I did this on a calendar year. All right, so we have a pretty good standing. These are the amounts of units we had on each thing, like the 13 gallons, the 20, the 30s, the 40, 45, and so forth. And it's just with a quarter raise on those, and then taking the cubic yard trash up to $48 from 41. We get these increases under the top, then going down, we're gonna leave the construction the same because we're really doing okay on the construction. We seem to be. And then the mattress and sofas, we'll take them up to $20 because of the extra fees that we've been paying. And the sofa beds are going to do because they're so heavy, they do cost us. Plus there's a mattress in it. So these are the things. The other things are pretty much the same, except till you get down to the replacement permits. And then another thing I'm gonna have on there is if they need a replacement of the paperwork I give them at the beginning of the year, we're gonna pay them $1 for that, because I can't print all that stuff, because we're printing in color in here and so forth. And, some of the things are highlighted and so forth, so I think that, we could certainly, charge them another $1. If they lose it, that's not my fault. So, I don't know how many, if you wanna do another 300 of them, you gotta, lots of money, so, this is a pain. So this is what the increase would be, just based on this calendar year here, okay?
I knew I had this.
So it's an increase of $11,000, basically.
So your cubic yard trash, your math was a little off, going to $48. You were gonna raise $2,000 for that, it's actually only
So the
$672.
one under here, 14 and 41 is, this is wrong. Should be 1554 probably. Let me get my calculator out here quickly. I think that, I misprinted on that one.
Does everything, you guys all have the proposed, what we had talked about, what Tara gave us last week?
Yep.
I see Andy knows.
So the 574 is correct.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 816. So it's not quite, yeah, it's another 1,200 off that, so it's basically $10,000 over. Okay, so,
Bob, you have this stuff, right? Hannah sent it to you.
Yeah, so I'm looking at, we're talking about the CY trash right now, 14
Yeah.
at $41 each.
yeah, I'm gonna go to 48 with that. But see, we don't have a lot of that. We don't get a lot of big bulky things. Most everything's bagged up. We try to discourage people from bringing in great big loads of crap, and they throw it off and get it all over the place. And then, of course, then we gotta clean it up, they just pull out, you know, and gone. So, you know, that's why we like to have the bag. Of course, they can't throw those in the dumpsters either sometimes. That's how they do that beyond me, but it does happen. So, I mean, this is an increase here. I mean, if the board decides they want to do a 50-cent bag, you could just, you know, put another, well, it'd be almost $5,000 on top. You know, on top of that, so.
These are, this sheet here is your proposed fees increases, correct, Tom?
Yeah,
Okay. And this is what the current fees, and this is the sheet that we.
yeah, these are our current fees right here. This is what, now see, I had to do these out by hand because of the fact, I'm gonna turn this off.
So fiscal year 22, Ellen created this, or Tara, I'm not sure.
See, so,
So fiscal year 22, your expenses at the transfer station were 161,395.
well, that's budget, yeah.
That was the actual expenditures.
Yeah, exactly, expenditure.
I think you have the thing that he's.
Yeah, I do. You gave it to me and it's right here.
And the revenue was 82,800 for a shortfall of 78,500.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, on our sheet. And this is what was concerning us the most, to be honest with you. So fiscal year 23, up to date last week, was your expenses were 86,350. And we have 57,900 revenue for a 28,450 shortfall in a 6-month period, which is gonna, if it were to stay true for the next 6 months.
It won't. That includes the $25,000 we had to pay for the SWIP. We pay for the solid waste implementation plan, the solid waste alliance. And I think we have a 25,000. I think we already paid that for the calendar year, I believe. So that's a big chunk. So we won't have, we shouldn't have that much more going forward the rest of this year. You know, there might be a little bit because we're doing the permanent.
I would look at this right there. Do we pay the 25,000 every year, right?
Every year, yes.
Every year, yep.
I'm gonna look at this and say that the 86,000, because we have expenses of 160, and I could be wrong, okay, I'm gonna say, but we had $160,000 expended in fiscal year 22. Half of fiscal year 23, we've spent half of the fiscal year 22 expenses, basically. 86, 160, okay? And our revenue is still, at this point, is 28,000 short, 28,400. I don't need to read all the right numbers or all the exact numbers, let's just round them up.
I mean, if our revenue is 57,000 in 6 months, then we could probably assume it's gonna be a little, well, we have a lot of the permits are in there. But then what's gonna happen is, this is where you're gonna get down into this other money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be more than, it should.
It's hard, but you got a 6-month window, we have a fairly accurate, with a 6-month window
Right.
that we're working with.
Be much more
It
than
should
that.
be fairly accurate, that you could say, and I mean, it's gonna fluctuate some, that we're gonna expend, our expenditures are gonna be another 80,000 or close to it for 6 months. And our revenue is gonna be another 58,000, let's be fair. So we're still gonna end up with, give or take, a $60,000 shortfall again in fiscal year 23. Now, that's if everything holds true 6 months to 6 months.
Right.
And, you know, how do you predict that? I mean, if we could predict that, I mean, I'm buying more Mega Ball or Mega Million Powerball tickets today.
Yeah.
So, but you know, just, so, and then fiscal year 24 with expenditures and revenue going off what we had, leaves us with that $102,000. And that's, you know, that's what we have to work off is budgets and what we expect and what, you know, both ways, expenditures and revenue. And we wanna reduce that 102 shortfall. We're all sitting here, every one of us sits here and says, and doesn't think that the transfer station is gonna pay for itself, and not one of us expects it to.
No.
And you're doing a tremendous job over there, and that's, you know, first and foremost, I should have opened with that. The job that you and your help over there are doing is incredible. There's no doubt about it. It's just,
We certainly have one of the cleanest ones around.
100% of that. So, no, for sure. So I should have opened that, and I apologize that I didn't. We're just trying to do due diligence
Right, I
to bring
understand.
that, the positive negatives, we wanna get them a little closer if we can. Not saying we can, just saying that was our goal. That was one of the things that when we had our budget discussion last week, that was one of the things that was that's one of the things that jumps out and sticks out there at us, and, you know.
Is there a copy of the budget right now I can take a look at?
I don't think
Just transfer stations.
I don't think your budget's out of line.
Well, I just don't see what we're talking.
I got a copy.
I thought I had a copy.
I can go get one.
No, I have my copies in my box.
I haven't had
Let me get the right one for you,
it.
Tom.
This is general.
Just need the transfer station.
Yeah, no, I know, I gotta get you the right one. I don't wanna give you the road one.
Too many of them.
Number 3 though.
That's the general one, Tara, you're gonna find it quicker than me. So that's our goal, Tom, and that's all.
This is the revenue
We
side.
didn't feel that your budget,
Last year.
we didn't feel that your budget was out of line.
Okay.
Okay, we didn't, I don't think, I mean, I don't wanna speak for everybody, but I don't think that was the discussion that we had, was that the budget was out of line.
No.
We wanna try to bring the revenue,
You're trying to get the margin closer,
that's all.
Well, I mean, how much is the board wanna raise these things?
Compared to what? We are very, very reasonable compared to what
Well, everybody else.
everybody else. They're extremely reasonable.
Through each
Yeah,
year.
here we are.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
we
a
got,
comparison, so you can see the difference of last year to this year till next year.
the actual,
And those are expenses, the revenue's on the front, I think, first or second page.
oh, the revenue's on the front.
Yeah, cause it's the full general budget. Let's see, one,
Okay.
revenues.
You can chime in anytime, Bob.
Okay, I'm sorry about
Looks like
this.
it's deep in thought up there.
Well, what we're going to, we need to raise fees in order to get closer to the expenditure.
Yeah, 165.
There it is.
I would just point out that the fee right now, I mean, just the permits, which is what most people are interested in, we're at 40 and we're proposing 50, correct?
Yes.
Yes, but that still gets you 1 free truckload plus 4 free tires, which pays for itself,
Yeah.
even at 50.
Right.
You have no mattresses.
Yeah, no mattresses, like.
We'll take couches, but we won't take sofa mattresses, or sofa couches, and,
Another question that we had, Tom, and I don't know if this has been answered or asked or whatever, is all of the things, that are free, do we pay to get rid of those things that are free?
commingle.
Right.
Commingle's very expensive.
But,
And, yeah, and technically we are allowed to charge for recycling. And we haven't, they're charging me will be 180, excuse me. It'll be $159 a ton is what they alluded to when I talked to them. It'd be $159 a ton plus the hauling, which is $200. So I'm only getting about 1.6 tons because it's so light. Everything's so light in there, you know? And if you start smashing it down too much, the stuff starts blowing everywhere and you have it all over, you know? So, what it is we have to pay for that. We don't have to pay for the batteries. We don't have to pay for the fluorescents. Okay, they're free.
Dry cell batteries are free,
Dry cell batteries are free.
rechargeable batteries,
Rechargeable batteries, we actually make some money on.
okay.
Take them to Atkins and
Yep,
19 cents, but I think that,
I'm not going there anymore, but.
no, I'm not either.
How about the flushing tubes are free? Okay,
Oil's free. We take it free.
TVs and computers and all that is free?
We actually make money on that. Actually, you have a thing there, this thing at the top, this one right here, Angie. It says we turned in 7,278 pounds of, covered electronics, and we get 8 cents a pound for that, so we got 582.24. But uncovered there was 947 pounds, and we charge us 16 cents for that, so that was a minus 151. Now, I do charge usually $1 to $2 a unit, unless it's something really big and heavy, then I charge more. Because, but the problem is, a lot of people, they just sit them down there and kind of hide them. You can't see what you're doing.
well, here's my thing, this is what we talked about last week. If we're doing things for free and it's costing us, maybe that's where we pick up some revenue too. You know, so propane tanks without valves. Does that cost us to get rid of?
No, I just throw those in the,
Metal dump.
metal dumpster.
How about stove, washers, dryers, water heaters?
No, they go in there too.
Okay.
You paid for those, not a lot.
So we're charging, the leaves and brush, we're fine with that.
Yeah,
Batteries and jump charge, that's free
yeah.
and doesn't cost us to get rid of.
Yeah, those jump starters, what I do is I'll take them apart and then because they're all lead acid batteries in them, so I zip it.
Cardboard and paper,
That's free, but the trucking's 200 a pull.
200 every time they take it out.
Yep.
How many times a year do you take it out?
We did it last Friday, we're doing it this Friday. It may after Christmas.
Unlike
Yeah.
This was nuts.
With COVID, it's
It's been a couple times a month on the bills, I did
Yeah.
the bills.
So we
So it's
did,
$159 a ton and we've done it a couple times.
That's called.
That's co-mingle.
so the cardboard and papers, I'll get down through this.
How many times we take it out?
No, I don't even know exact, if we're going 2 times a month, that's 24 times a year. That's fair, right?
Yeah, that's $4,800.
So that's costing us $4,800 to get rid of that.
Yeah, but the co-mingle's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
how often is that?
Recycled marked plastics,
For that.
the recycled marked plastics.
Plastics, that's co-mingle.
That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's a co-mingle, so
So the
Plastic,
commingle we're
sand,
paying-
glass.
that's glass, tin cans, and, plastic.
Oh, okay,
But
I
it's
get
a
it.
lot of, see, here's the thing,
I call it something different,
they
that's,
don't recycle plastic bags up here. So we try to tell people, dump the stuff in, so
so
it's loose.
that's what, 159 a ton?
Plus the 200.
Plus 200.
So it's 359.
And that's usually every bit as much
How
as
many ton in a dumpster on average?
about 2. between 1.5 and 2.
Alright, so if we, using round numbers, if we said there's 2 ton in a dumpster,
I don't think that'd be pushing a little high. I think we'd probably had to go with, just say we have $240 in the fee, then it should be $440 a pop.
I was gonna say 500.
And how many times a year did we do that?
let's say,
We do that, probably at least 30.
30?
Yes, it's a.
Times
it's
a year.
It's like a monthly, couple times a month. a lot.
So we can charge for recyclable?
We're allowed to, but I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, but
why wouldn't we? That's
Why
costing us a
wouldn't we?
huge amount of money.
That's a huge,
That's costing, let's say $450, it's costing us $450 every time that dumpster rolls out of there, right? That's what we just said.
right,
Right?
30 times a year.
30 times a year, right?
17,
It's $13,500 a year.
well,
okay.
that's kind of what I thought the permit was for. Help cover those costs. You know, those two things right there. Everything else,
The permit also covers the free dump day though.
no, we have free dump days on our own. That's a line item. That's 85.
I know, but it's an expense that comes out of that same revenue.
But, you know, what we do cover, and we eat a lot of it. I mean, what the highway department picks up and what the Pownal people pick up along the roads and so forth, you know, I give them the green up bags that we have. And I keep track of all that, you know, from May to May, and we do that. So when I do green up day, I add all that in there to, you know, for the state, because this is what's cleaned up off our roads, not just one day.
Right.
But the whole year.
Right.
So when they come in, you know, like, you get so much stuff off the tub, so much stuff off of North Pownal, so much off of Lad Road. You know, those seem to be, you know, 3 of the really bad places that people are dumping this stuff, you know. And, so we have certain people go do those and they clean them up. I mean, my wife does Church Street and then does our street, you know, about once a month. No, not just last 2 months, but, you know, when it gets cold, she doesn't do it, but during the spring and the summer and fall, she'll do that, and she'll get a bag, and I'd write it down.
So, between the two things, cardboard and paper and the commingle, the recycled plastics and stuff, that's costing us about little over 18 grand a year, give or take.
Yep.
To get rid of. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of money. That brings an $18,000. All right, so right now, the projected revenue in the fiscal year 24 budget is 78.2. But with the proposed changes that Tom has brought us in here at, for tonight is 99,311. And I'm gonna do the actual numbers, 99,311.50.
Yeah.
And if I take off the difference in our proposed budget, that's $21,000 more revenue right off the difference of what we have proposed in our budget and what Tom has on his proposed fee increases, okay?
2 fees, yeah.
Now, if we offset some of this other stuff, even if we were to make up half of that 18,000, now we're changing our revenue 30 grand. You follow me? Everybody follow what I'm saying? We increased that revenue $30,000 between the 21 offset and 9,000 offset on those other two. On those two that are costing us a lot of money.
Well, we
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, well, there's 2 options there I see right away, is either increase the fee up to $60, which I don't think is gonna fly too well. And, or just put another quarter on all the bags. Make them up 50 cents more a bag.
I think a $30,000, however we can come up with that increase, I think that's more than reasonable. What do you think, Bob? You're my big numbers guy there. What are you seeing? Am I missing something? Did I do something wrong? You know, what are you thinking here?
Well, a couple of things. The 99,331 is just is actually 98 something, right?
Right,
97.
it's 11,000, increase.
Right, 11,000.
There's 11,000 increase, but.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
I got that screwed up there.
And then, well, the one, I'm less concerned about whether or not the numbers add up in the calculator as I am about the, and I think, Tom, this is where you were going, was whether or not that flies means if you raise your fees, your people, you can't rely on the number of units sold because you'll sell less units. And I think that's what you were talking about, right? When you say it's not going to fly. So you don't necessarily gain the revenue that you think you do by raising the fees. You actually decrease the number of permits sold.
Yeah, right now.
I think I'm fine with a $10 permit increase.
Okay,
I think I'm fine with that, Tom.
all right,
I'm looking at, do we charge for cardboard and paper? Something. Do we charge for the recyclables? Something to offset those costs that we're expenses, thank you. I was looking for that big word. I just went with the single syllable, but, so there's 18,000 and we can, that right there is, so if I can make up that 9,000, because we're not gonna make it all up. We can't,
I mean, a guy came in.
not at once.
A guy came in yesterday, he had 2 carloads, and I mean, the front seat, the passenger seat was full and the whole car was full. All right, he had 2. And, one of them was, a lot of plastic bags and stuff like that. And what I was trying to tell you earlier about the plastic bags, these people then they have like feed bags, they're not recyclable. They aren't. And they have like the pellet bags, they don't recycle them, even though they have the circle on there. So what I have them do is put those in the trash, which is a lot less money than what we're paying for commingle. Because they just throw them out anyhow, we're paying a lot of money, so just have them throw it in there, because that's what they do, they just take it, it's not really recyclable. Just gums up all the machines and they chew the stuff up. So, we just have those in there.
So
not that-
how many, so when you charge, right now we're charging $41 a cubic yard for trash, right?
Yeah, loose trash,
That's for loose trash.
yeah.
So when you say loose trash, that's somebody bringing in a dump trailer loaded with trash.
Cubic yard.
Right, but it's,
Well, they just have a pickup truck with a lot of crap thrown in,
okay, all right, yep, all right. And you're proposing to go to $48 a cubic yard.
Yeah.
How many, you get 14 cubic yards a year? Is that what?
That's all it came out. We don't get that many loose ones.
Okay, no,
Now, construction, we get 120, we had 127 3/4 yards. So that is
we charge, right now we're charging for 1 cubic yard of demolition and construction debris,
$64.
we're charging $64. What is your proposed charge?
64, I wasn't gonna raise it.
You're not gonna raise that?
What's it cost to get rid of it?
Yeah, what's it costing us to get rid of a cubic yard?
Well, for a yard, well, for a ton. See, we gotta convert it into tons, that's.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So for a ton, we're paying 108, probably $109 a ton. So, and.
So you have, basically you have a dumpster for construction debris.
3,
Okay, so you have 3.
we have 1,
So hear me out for a minute. So your total cubic yardage of your units is 127 3/4 cubic yards of construction debris. Last year, it's $64 a ton for a total of $8,000. How much did it cost us to get rid of that construction debris?
add the sofas in there because that's on one of them. We have the indoor construction, which is only, when you first start putting, sofa beds and couches and chairs and stuff in, you don't get a lot of weight into it. That's usually only like 2.5 tons. And so that money has to go in onto that too. I mean, if you want to.
how much did it cost us to get rid of the 127 3/4 yards of construction debris that brought us in a revenue of $8,000?
Well,
Roughly. I'm not gonna hold you to it, buddy. How many,
I'll tell you what, how many numbers tomorrow morning, but
yeah, how many tons, roughly? How many tons did we get rid of?
usually there's in a outside construction, there's anywhere from 4.7 to maybe 6 at the most. And then the inside's usually like 2.5. So,
How many tons did we get rid of? How many tons of construction debris did we get rid of in the last fiscal year?
127.
That's 127 tons or 127 cubic yards?
75 tons. Or no, that's cubic yards, excuse me, that's cubic yards. The tons, I can look that up in my, I have that on my.
I'm looking at ways to offset this, that's all. And that's another one, because I think we're losing money on the construction debris as well. I don't know that.
I don't think so, but tell you what, why don't we take it up to 80? So I'd like to do it. Let's take it up to 80.
Okay.
And then that's gonna increase us, that's gonna give us a pretty good little cushion there. And the thing with this, we're still important because they're charging 126 across the scales down there now?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's about what it is. Well, you know, somebody just got a little job, come on, we just go by the cubic yard.
Yeah, that's, if you went by the same cubic yardage, if you go to $80 for a cubic yard, and if we sent the same amount of cubic yardage, give or take, that's $2,000.
Yeah,
That's two grand right there.
that's a help.
To go to $80
Yep.
a cubic yard.
How much do you say construction debris was per ton?
That's gotta be huge.
They're
It's huge.
109, be 100.
Now the open time, pass it back.
$109 a ton.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
They charge us 109 plus $200.
They're usually, the outside ones, we have the two outsides, an upper and lower, and they're usually, around 6 tons. Okay, the indoor construction, we have people throw carpets and stuff we don't want getting wet, you know, and the mattresses and furniture, so.
What did it cost us for your line item there?
I proposed that all the bags go up 50 cents instead of a quarter, because the competition out there, I think they're charging at least $10 a bag per pickup,
Yeah.
at least. And they're going up weekly and monthly, and now they're charging, fuel charges. Considerably. My mother has,
You brought that up, actually, going up 50 cents instead of before.
Yeah. No, you know,
Are you comfortable with that, Tom?
yeah, I am. I like the idea of going to 80 on the construction note too, that'll bring us up some.
Yeah. What is the board's feelings on 50 cents a bag versus, 25 increase?
So that would bring the 13 gallons to $3.
Yeah.
And then leave recycling alone?
I'm not sure I wanna leave the recycling alone, but let's go.
I'm just
No, I know.
trying to,
Well, let's run the numbers, let's run these up and let's see where that puts us
think in
down.
my head what's supposed to have to get tossed out the window. I guess is where I was.
Well, the guy who's tossing his beer can out the window driving down the road, he's not thinking about recycling anyways.
Right. No.
I understand.
So-
Right? Simple as that.
so many people that don't think about recycling.
Well, I know.
So many people.
Every once in a while, I haven't
I also don't wanna penalize the
No, the
ones
people
that
who
do.
do.
You know, yeah, that's just it. We have a lot of people, that- seriously, we have an awful lot of people that recycle.
So,
A lot of, we have people come in, all they do is recycle.
Right.
so how about this, so that we can move this along and be quicker and be done with this, cause we got a lot on the agenda. How about if we go 50 cents a bag?
Okay.
How about if we go $80 a ton
Construction.
construction debris? And we leave the recycling alone. And we put that on our budget, discussion for next year. Because I don't wanna do too much all at once and really, hit everybody hard all at once.
Well,
What do
yeah,
you guys think of that, Bob? What do you, cause I know you're definitely on that,
Well, unfortunately, there's no good answer, all right? The raises in fees might increase the trash and the litter. We've done a lot of work to focus on that. But generally speaking, it's I also caution that, I mean, we're calculating this out as though an increase in cost is not going to have any impact on how many bags we get and that sort of thing. It will have an impact. If we go up 50 cents, and I'm not against it, believe me, I'm not against it, but just as an example, of the 13 gallons, right? We've got 5,110 units. If we go up from $2.50 to $3 a bag, which is what we're talking about, next year, I guarantee that's not going to be 5110. It's going to be some number less. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the demand elasticity is. But anytime you charge more for something, you sell less of them.
here's the other edge of that sword too, Bob. If the bags get too expensive, the people do more recycling. And then next year, we'll see. I'll see you June. I'll let you know, June.
no, right.
But I also
But if we
think
start charging
by
them for
permits,
recycling, then they're not gonna recycle.
use their permits and they're not
They won't
gonna
recycle. That's where I.
stop doing their garbage.
Right. I don't think,
But, I mean, I don't think we can, I think that, given the information that we have, I'm not opposed to anything we're doing. I just want to lay it out there so that the
Yep.
people at home know, as they're watching this, that we are considering all these things.
Right.
But this is
It's not an easy situation.
No,
there's not a
this is
person
not.
here that knows what the demand elasticity is on raising fees. It's not, none of us know that. But we do know that there is some, and we do know it's going to happen. I'm not sure that we can do much of anything else here.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
does
mean, we
seem
all
like
feel
a
that we have to
big
bring it
in-
closer.
Right.
I'll get this all redone tomorrow and get it up to you, everybody, okay?
Are we comfortable with that? Do we need to vote as a board? Sorry, Bob.
Bob was saying.
That's right. 64 to 80 seems like a big increase. It's got to do something, and and that's generating, assuming the demand doesn't change, that's generating about $2,000. But it's a substantial increase.
But it's also, so let me ask this, Tom, your construction debris that you have here, is it homeowners that are bringing in most of that in, or contractors coming in and dumping here too?
It's pretty much homeowners,
Pretty much homeowners.
do-it-yourselfers. You know, and there's a couple of small contractors and stuff, there's some gals that do some contracting and so forth.
Because that's still like half what TAM, if you get on the scales at TAM, they charge
Yeah.
minimum one.
But I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and I'm gonna side with Bob on this one. So if we go from $64 a ton, or a yard, cubic yard, to $80, that's a $16 increase. Most of the homeowners, I wanna try to say this correctly, okay? Most of the homeowners are gonna bring that in there and dump it at $80 a yard. But are we gonna get 3 or 4 or 6 homeowners that are gonna dump it on the side of the road if we go up $16? So if we cut that increase in half this year to $72 instead of a $16 a yard increase, it's gonna generate $1,000 versus $2,000. But it's not such a huge increase all at once. And then think about another $8 or $10 increase again next year to bring things up into parity. What do you think about that, Bob? I mean, I can see the wheels
Yeah,
spinning.
I think that's probably the best we can do. It just seemed to me that was a huge one number increase for a very little gain.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
So maybe the $72, I'm perfectly okay with that. I would have voted yes on the 80 as well, but
No, I know.
wanted to make sure that people knew that knew that there really isn't a win-win here.
And the validity of the statements about having stuff and selling less and having stuff on the side of the road, now we're paying the road crew or whoever to pick the stuff up and we're bringing it in and paying to get rid of it anyway.
Right.
Okay, because at the end of the day, we have to pay to get rid of it. So, in the $2,000, I'm looking at it, because after I did the math, it's like, it's only a $2,000 increase? Wait a minute, that's not a huge amount of money when you're talking whatever, $160,000 or $180,000 expense budget here. That's, you're gonna offset it by $1,000 or $2,000, come on. So,
Yeah, I might have to increase the tires a little bit too, because I talked to them, last fall and they were gonna kick it up some. They didn't say exactly what but I just wanna cover our butts. And we might even go to $5 on those because, that's what, they charge more than that to tire places, don't they?
that's where you're at now, isn't it? $5?
It's more than that.
$4.50.
$4.50, I thought maybe I could change that to $5. I didn't want to do it, but I will.
I think we
I think
should.
you're gonna have to, because they said that was the last time they came to pick up, they told you that was the last time. Had that
They called me the next day, they had no idea I was getting the rate I was getting.
Yeah, nobody
I don't know
else.
how,
Priceless.
I don't know how you're getting that. Well, I do.
3 different
One
prices.
guy,
Throw that one away then.
he got in the morning, somebody put 4 bullet holes through his pickup. He was pissed, I was commiserating with me, and I said, man, that's really tough, stuff like that. He kind of breaking
Yeah,
Are we gonna raise the tire price too?
To $5.
$5, I think so, yes.
Alright, so
And we're being consistent with the 50 cents, so,
So we're gonna go 50 cents a bag,
yeah.
right? 50 cents per bag, across the board. We're gonna go $72 a cubic yard on construction debris, and we're gonna go 50 cents on a tire.
To $5.
$5. Yeah.
Everybody, so we can vote on this?
Are we still gonna do the permit increase to 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys all good on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to raise the transfer station fees, for the fiscal 24 year budget, to the agreed upon numbers that we have just, brought out there.
So move.
Second.
I'll see you, I'll get a copy of it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Thank you again for what you do.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
My pleasure.
Happy to meet you, so.
All in favor?
I'm gonna. I know I'm gonna do it. Actually, but thank you, because I have. All right, we have a motion on the floor.
Put that in the town report.
Yeah.
Kinda important.
And a motion on the floor in a second. All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Perfect. BCAC clothesline follow-up. Is that you, Tara?
Yep, so basically, remember I brought to you the Bennington Child Advocacy Center Special Investigation Unit. They wanted to be able to set up the clothesline in Center Street Park, and so we're gonna look at it to make sure that you
Did you
felt it
check,
was appropriate.
did you check with, Jennifer?
I have not checked with Jennifer, sorry. I don't think that she would have an issue with it.
Okay.
Did anybody have any concerns when they, checked that out? And I didn't. I think it's a good program and I think we're fine, as long as Jennifer is, okay with it, the Parks and Rec, not Jennifer, Parks and Rec.
I think I would have them reach out to Parks and Rec. I'll say the select board is good with it. Can you work with Parks and Rec to find a good location?
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor, Angie,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Brian. Aye. Mike, aye. Everyone has the RFP for the external audit in front of them.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions on that? It's,
They're seeking an auditor for the 2022 fiscal year.
fiscal year 2022.
Make a motion that we, put it out for bid as proposed by Tara.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion, any questions?
Just to be clear, I'm
Sorry.
sorry, just to be clear, we got the wording from previous RFPs.
Correct.
Yeah, the exact same one we used previously.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good when I read it.
And just so people know, proposals will be accepted until 9 AM on February 10th, 23.
Yes.
I have a motion on the floor. Any more discussion? All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. Ballot article discussion and warning review.
Okay, so I have the draft of our warning.
I think the audio just cut out.
Sorry about that. I hit
I
the
think,
mute
actually,
button.
I think I hit it by accident, yeah, when I was thinking, sorry.
So,
Apologize.
as I was saying, it's a warning for town meeting and those things. The things in red you will see are the ones that can change and they need to edit. It's pretty straightforward. All that is on here are the regular ballot appropriation requests from different associations that request money yearly. You will see there, Article 9 is the general fund approval. Article 10 is the road budget approval. Articles 4 and 5 are the two that need your attention. And then, of course, I left Article 6, 7, and 8 blank, if you want to add more. I want to go through and edit all the, we have to go through individually and edit the numbers.
You left yourself
Still be-
open.
Yeah, I left myself open and then I'll
You had to
bust
add
it if I have to.
Gotcha.
So the two that we should discuss are Article 4, shall the voters authorize the town constable if they hold the required state certifications to exercise law enforcement authority. That is because last year we voted to remove law enforcement authority. Technically, legally, we do not have to put this out to vote again because it expires after 1 year. But for the best, clear and transparent, like, for what we're trying to do, I think it's best if we put it on there.
Back on there.
So that people understand what the goal is. And the next one is, shall the voters authorize the select board to appoint a first constable and if needed, a second. And the reason this is so important is because if we have no one run for constable for a year, you could still hire the position. I also heard from VLCT that the liability is, it's sort of better to be able to hire because then you have more management of
To a point.
of the employee.
Right, hire or appoint, yes. But did we ever get the numbers for these yet?
So that's the other reason that I feel it's so important to have it as an appointed position, because we may have someone running, but if he decides not to, or let's say another job, or
Or somebody else runs?
if somebody else runs, it's just, better, I think, if we can appoint.
So so that we're clear on this,
Well, that's where I was going, is if we don't have the actual numbers, so we can truly give them to the taxpayers, what are we feeding them?
So basically, we have a sheriff's budget that we contract with currently. The contract, we just have to give 30 days notice to get out of, so then we would have that money to pay a constable.
which is, we're budgeted, I think, this year for about 80 grand, right?
Yes.
So basically,
Well, we
Initial-
budgeted for the
initial setup
sheriff's
costs
department
would-
for 80 grand, right? We didn't budget for a constable yet.
Right.
I'm just
You're right.
throwing it out
was
here
budgeted
so
for the
everybody
sheriff's
understands out
contract.
in,
Yep.
And I think what we need to have in here is a ballot article, which could be 6, 7, 8, whatever we want. We need to write a ballot article that removes the constable from a voted position to an appointed or hired.
can we do that
That's what Article
legally?
5.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that we're removing
The
it.
town charter, that's a charter change, and then
Yeah, I thought
that's a whole separate thing.
that we had to request that for the state and then
You
have.
have to go through the state legislature for a charter change.
Yeah, there was something else going on with that, so.
For a charter change?
To change the town charter, I believe the process is you have to put it before your voters and then it has to get approved by the state.
I guess I don't understand what I'm changing the town.
The town charter.
As far
That's
as
effectively what you're changing, is you would be removing the town constable from,
an elected position.
yeah.
Pulling it from an elected role. And I thought, I couldn't know if
This
it's
is
told
how
the
the
charter
LCT told me to put
or
it.
statute.
Well, if that's all they say to do it, I mean, maybe they've changed the regulations, but.
Okay,
Well, I can reach back out to them with whatever questions to clarify and make sure.
And make sure they realize that our constable is a chartered position, it's not something that we just,
yeah, it was something to do with statute, because we looked into it before.
yeah, because it's written into the original Pownal Town Charter.
Right. But that's why we're having this discussion, so
Yep,
that
exactly.
we can come back, because Julie needs these by next Thursday, so we'll probably have a special Tuesday to finalize whatever. So I can reach back out to the LCT tomorrow morning.
Well, I think the ultimate goal here is that, there's no secret, the ultimate goal is to have a constable who can perform law enforcement in the town versus, and still have the state police, but versus just contracting law enforcement. I mean,
Well,
that's
would it
what
just
we're
be-
working on.
If it does turn into a town charter change, would it just be easier if we just started our own municipal police force?
I think that's a whole different thing.
They
your
said that
taxpayers can't
basically
afford
a
it.
constable is a de facto police department,
Right.
Yes.
according to the LCT, so it's, getting a police department is a lot.
Well, I mean, in essentially a police force of one, maybe two is what I'm thinking.
Right.
And if you're trying to eliminate the possibility that it turns into an elected position, that the person then just decides to leave, or you get somebody that doesn't have the qualifications one election, like you're looking for authority to just appoint somebody, my suggestion would be just avoid that and just create a 1 or 2 person police force. And then you just hire somebody into it with requiring the same qualifications. And then you have the ability to appoint, hire, fire, evaluate, whatever. Because you're gonna have to buy all the same equipment. All the regulations are still the same.
constable position.
You leave the constable, we put it back out there, that same thing we did the first time, where you take the law enforcement
Law enforcement.
capability away from it. I mean, you can put it in there that, you know, unless they have the qualifications.
Well,
I don't think that doesn't make sense to me.
the best bet is this number 2 as far as appointment goes. Therefore, you don't have that confusion.
Yeah, that's very confusing to
I
me.
mean, no, honestly, I mean, as far as that particular one, the number 5, that way they're an employee versus an elected position. And I know there was something.
So, well, here's my concern, and maybe you can walk me through it. So, we put both these articles on there. They both pass. We have somebody run who does not have the qualifications, wins election. What do? You can't tell them they can't have the elected position.
That's why I'm saying we need to eliminate the constable position as far as, and make it just an appointed position.
I see what you.
Not an need to eliminate it as an elected position
Well,
versus making it.
if you read Article 4, it takes care of the person who doesn't have the qualifications. So the voters authorize the town constable, if they hold the required state certifications, to exercise law enforcement authority in accordance with 24 VSA, whatever. If they don't hold the qualifications, then they can't perform law enforcement duties.
No, but they still technically hold the position of first constable.
But that's fine.
And we have that now.
I mean,
Yes.
that's right. So that's totally fine as far as, and, you know, we need to research this out. So
I'm thinking it's going to be similar to the language used when you, last year, when we elected to not have the listers.
Right.
Anymore.
So,
An appointed position.
part of my fear is if you end up with somebody who's elected, who doesn't have the qualifications, and you choose to, would we chance having a lawsuit where they can say, you're not offering me the training for a position I won election for?
Yes, because in state statute, it states that we have to give them the training. I believe, what I've been reading, so.
Because to me, like, you're asking for trouble if you,
Well, in order to get that training, there's a whole bunch of stuff they have to go through. They have to get approved by the state police to be trained.
Right, you gotta pass a
There's a,
background
you gotta
check.
pass a background check, you gotta pass a lot of stuff.
Right.
It's not a 2-minute process.
no, and I understand that.
The 3-step process just before you can even go to the class.
Right.
And I get that, but
I mean,
we would offer all that.
the obvious thing and the easiest thing here to do, trying to move forward, is to remove the town constable as an elected position.
That's what I was.
And
Yes.
you put it as a,
Change it to an appointed position.
that's right, which then the select board, because we're the governing body, has the power to hire, fire, reprimand, set your hours, do all of that stuff. That's what our ultimate goal is.
Right.
Yes, and I fully support that.
Well,
And I agree, it needs to be.
No, I ain't very good
It
at
needs to
it.
be worded better so that we get rid of that elected position.
Yes, thank you.
And appointed. So I will get the verbiage on that. That's the way to.
and that's what the ultimate goal is.
Right.
You know, and it's not, you know, we're budgeting $80,000 for, a contracted law enforcement that they dictate to us when they're gonna work.
And they patrol and they don't, weekends, evenings.
So we may be able to take
Emergency
and,
response.
if that's a whole deal with the contract, is do,
But they still dictate,
work the contract.
the hours.
They do work the contract, but it's mainly patrols, they.
We get zero revenue, we get basically zero revenue from the sheriff's department.
And,
You have a town constable that writes tickets, guess who gets the revenue?
yeah,
And the goal of course.
and if the
is to
sheriff's department wrote their
funding.
tickets, we'd be getting revenue too, but they haven't been writing many tickets.
But that's the other thing.
Our statement.
No funding to restart the
I
position.
mean, we can argue this back and forth
On roughly what that would cost to re-equip.
Well, let's work on that, let's
without talking to the
let's
authority.
get that, you know what your tasks are. Unfortunately, you're probably not going home early tomorrow, no, you're good at.
I'm going home early tomorrow.
He can work from home.
But I've been working with Joel, Howard to get some prices because he knows like what a police officer needs. I don't have any idea when you talk about ballistic vests and weapons. I have no clue where to even start. So he's helping me, but I think he just took a new job, so, I'll reach back out to him and see if he has had any luck. But like I said, it's, from what I understand, for under 100,000, between 50 and 100, we can get a constable set up fully.
I'm thinking like you're
Without a vehicle.
So a cruiser,
Good vehicle.
buying a used vehicle?
Is on the, he's been.
Well, it must be a used one.
I was gonna say, that's gotta be used, cause I would think you're gonna spend at least 70 or 80 for,
Well, there's also, when you go out for that stuff, there's also state.
yeah, state and federal grants and funding.
The prices are set. So are we good with everything else other than the constable on them?
Is there anything else you guys wanted to see on it? I mean,
I think the big thing is getting that constable position squared away. And that's what we have discussed, and then our budget numbers may change a little bit with the transfer station increases for the general, right? It should go down, the increase should go down a little bit with increased revenue. Not a lot, but it's gonna go down a little bit.
and, Article 29, the Solomon Light Library up to their request. They requested 15,000 for the support of a director last year.
And
This
20
year
this
they,
year.
they got the signatures for 20.
Yeah, I saw that email.
So if we're good on the ballot articles, we'll move to, budget final discussion and approval.
We'll have a special on that next week.
Yeah. Because we're gonna have to adjust the transfer station and that kind of stuff, and maybe even the constable portion of it or whatever, okay. Town report review?
Okay. Gotta switch.
So one thing that, I'm gonna let you go
Did you
first.
skip over the budget?
No?
Yeah.
Because we gotta get the
That's why I was
numbers back.
confused. We wanna, He wants me to change the numbers for the transfer station.
Okay.
So we'll have to have a special meeting for that.
I knew where,
Have the special, we'll approve it and do that.
Okay.
Okay. So
I got it. Yep, town report.
As you all know, last year we switched to a postcard. We send out a postcard to let people know that the town report is available.
Online?
Some, yeah.
I've seen it.
Yep, so it just says it's available online, I sent it to Bob.
Okay.
And you can, also come into the town office to request a copy. This is the version without the picture on it, very, kind of.
Yeah,
I like the picture.
but, I mean,
I did it just in case you guys wanted to see it without the picture.
is there a big price difference?
And just so people know, there is a digital copy online on the website.
There will be.
I mean, you can request a copy for free at the town hall.
I saw the postcard yesterday, I think, when I was in here, whatever day, I don't know, whatever day I was in here. Yeah, Tuesday, I don't know.
You have it.
And personally, I think the colored postcard really stands out, and I think it's an awesome job, actually. I think it catches your attention right off the bat.
That's going out with the updated mailing list of instead of, you won't end up with 5 copies going to one home.
Nope, and actually, we figured out a trick, we didn't know that there's a really easy way to print mailing labels to every household, so not only just registered voters, I'll be sending them to every household.
Here we go.
Maybe it'll encourage people to register to vote if they're not currently.
Nice.
That would be nice.
Do you want them forward, yes or no on that, or you just gonna go with your colored ones and go with it?
Well, yeah, I wanted approval. Cause there's no examples or anything online, so I was like, hey, you guys can approve it, hopefully.
What's the board's pleasure on the postcard mailing for the town report?
Make a motion for this postcard as shown,
Colorized one.
be the, mailing for the, town report.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. Nice job on that, by the way. It's really cool.
I have more, a little bit more.
No, sorry.
So the town report is, about half done. I've been spending a lot of time on it. I have 2 things I need approval for. Since it is no longer being mailed, I'm really hoping that we can change to a normal size piece of paper because it is so hard to fit the reports onto the small 5.5.
Oh, for the book?
For the book. It makes it really tiny and I know a lot of people had trouble reading it last year.
The small print.
Yeah, and then I realized, if people come in and request them, we hit print, it's gonna print on a regular paper, this big.
Right.
And that's kind of ridiculous looking, it's not really. I understand, we of course still want bound copies for, like our use in the office and to keep some in the safe so that we have, we save those and we keep them, so we would want a bound copy still, a few of them. But I think,
You wanna go full page, that's what you're asking.
yes, really badly.
And this is what it looks like.
How many
Like-
pages? That double page?
Is this a full book?
It's not full, but it's.
Oh my God, I can read
Is
that.
that your work in progress so far or just last year's?
Yeah, it's my work in progress, not last year's, like, nothing from last year. Did you already?
So the bound copies,
Well, I've had time. I had been here.
ordering them?
Probably, or I haven't looked into the pricing.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask, what would the pricing be for a bound copy that size?
Not much, because we can buy our own, just buy the hole punch thing and put the bound thing on. It's not a costly thing, or we could have, say, 50 copies printed and bound.
Can you get all that done for our next special meeting? Okay, add it to the.
All the copies bound and printed.
How many copies do you want to have bound, printed and bound? Because that's another whole piece, this is their first year doing this, so it's totally new now.
So the reason for the bound copies is to have copies here at the town office for you or Hannah,
And then to keep
Julie,
for future.
and keep bound copies in the safe for future. I would say get us a price on, see where the break is.
Okay.
If there's a break from, if there's a break on 1 to 100.
Right.
Right, if it's the same price to get, you know, and then if there's a break after that, or 1 to 50 or whatever, see where that price break is.
Yep,
Okay.
Is that fair?
that sounds fair.
Yeah, 'cause I use it as a reference now and then when people call, so.
So are we approving the full page, but you just want copies? Or are you waiting?
I like the idea of the full page
Oh, I do too.
for ease of reading.
And
Yeah.
it is so time consuming to try to make it
And
fit.
we're gonna end up printing less copies either way, so even if it's marginally more for a full-size book, we're gonna be saving in the long run anyway, on postage and.
You gotta put these on and then grab a magnifying glass.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I mean, last year was like, I couldn't,
Yeah,
Bob, you had something you were trying to,
Yeah, just anyone who wants a bound copy can get one, is that correct? That's correct.
Yeah,
So, and I mean, any citizen who wants one.
yeah.
But now in order to get one, you have to request one rather than have it just sent to you.
Yes,
So with that in mind, we need to print enough of them, right?
oh yeah. Yeah, but it also being on full page, we can literally hit print, you know what I
they
mean?
print them themselves, if they run out of the ordered bound copies.
Exactly,
And you can always download it and print it yourself at home,
right.
or bring the file to Staples and print your own there.
yeah, download a PDF so you can look at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm,
Okay, I have one more approval for the
you wanted
town.
to get done,
Sorry.
now look at us go.
Can I dedicate the town report to Ron Bizon?
Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned.
I'm fine with that.
Board, fine with that.
Absolutely.
So we pass the motion?
Will you please?
I'll make a motion that we dedicate the town report to Ron Bezan.
Second it.
Second.
Thank you.
Any
And,
discuss-
do we want to write something up too, right?
It's done.
It's done.
I had his, family do it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
All those in favor, Angie,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Mike, aye. I have one quick thing on the town report. I ran this by Tara and Hannah the other day. Instead of the chair of the select board writing, just something from the chair this year, I wanna do something different. I want something from each board member, 1, 2, 3 sentences. I'm not looking for a bunch of paragraphs. I'd like, because my feeling, like I said, I ran it by Tara and Hannah. We've had, and some of it's probably gonna be redundant, there's no doubt. We've had a tremendous amount of accomplishments this year in one fiscal year, 1 year. And I want each one of us to have a say in that, not just the board chair this year. So I'd like each one of you to get something between now and whenever you tell us we need it, a couple days. 2 or 3 sentences, whatever, just a little blurb, whatever you feel is the best thing, or how things went, what you feel the best thing about the town, whatever, as if you were writing it yourself. But just a couple of sentences, doesn't have to be long drawn out. But I'd like every one of us to write something this time. Try something different.
And it kind of goes with the theme, like you said, a lot of teamwork this year. Between,
Tremendous amount of teamwork this year, all the way through, so it just continues the same thing that we're focusing on for 3 years that I've been here, you know, for sure. That's it for me. You done with the town review? Okay, non-returnable building materials discussion.
this should be fast, so there's a bunch of stuff piled outside still, shingles, some siding. Eric said that it's non-returnable, because it came from a modular company. He said he would pay for it, he doesn't really know, wasn't sure, he didn't give me an actual amount. But I figured I'd bring it to you guys to see what you wanted to do with it, if you want me to see how much he'll pay for it, or.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. See what,
Is it something that we might need down the road for repair?
Maybe keep some siding.
I was just thinking
I
like,
guess it would be a question of how much is out there.
Right.
I have no idea what's there.
the siding is probably something that, to be honest with you, if you try to store it somewhere and you try to move it a bunch of different times, it's gonna get broken.
yeah,
Versus having to, if you need some siding for something, you go buy a square siding,
Yeah,
or fiber
same thing
cement
with
siding.
shingles.
Singles are gonna, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I was in the business for a while, but,
Okay.
you know,
Okay, they get stuck together from the heat being setting and.
Yeah.
Boom.
I'm getting a problem in my house. My house is 5 years old, 7 years old, so.
Yeah, I think you're getting something for it is better than nothing.
Yeah, I would say sell it.
Perfect. So we'll get a number on that and then we can approve that. Which brings us into 14A, executive for contractual. I'll entertain a motion to move into, executive session with action to follow.
So moved.
Second it.
And also, before we vote, there will be after we, make motions when we come out of executive, however that motion is, there will be an opportunity for some public comment, and then we'll have our regular public comment after that. All those in favor of moving to executive, Angie,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Bob,
All right,
Brian,
Aye.
Mike, aye. And Hannah will let us know when we can.
Yes.
Is everyone in, Hannah?
Yes, I've already said.
Welcome back, everyone. So, I'm gonna give a little bit of a presentation on a project that,
You have to come out.
Executive.
oh, sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive.
So moved.
Second it.
Thank you. All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
all right.
Brian?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. I'm just trying to get out of here. I'm gonna do a little bit of a presentation on a project that the board, Tara, Hannah, Rebecca, we've been working on for a while, with some support, a lot of support actually from the Vermont Land Trust. We've been working on it for probably 5 or 6 months, I would say. Is that fair? We have an opportunity to obtain, approximately 300 acres of forest land that ties our already owned forest land on the West Mountain, the 700 plus acres. The 300 acres ties that together so that is one continuous piece of over 1,000 acres that backs up to 8,000 acres of conserved property in New York State. The 1,000 acres we would end up obtaining or owning would also be conserved. So it's over 9,000 acres of conserved land that backs up to each other. And in order to do this, we have an opportunity to obtain a hard access to the property, which the town of Pownal has tried really hard for 20 years or however long we've owned the Strobridge property, I guess for lack of a better term. And all of these pieces fell into place, really quickly and kind of in a really nice, orderly fashion. And I'd like to thank everyone who's worked hard on this, for sure. This is funded through grant money and some other things, and a lot of this was contingent upon obtaining that funding. So it's no cost to our taxpayers. I'd like to thank, the VHCB for being part of this proposed project, and hopefully that funding comes through so that we can finalize this project. There's some long-term visions, and if someone were to ask, we'll get into that. But I kind of want to move the motion forward. We've had a long meeting, got a lot of stuff done, and I want to give opportunity for some public comment after we make the motion. There's actually 2 motions. We'll do them separately and act on them separately. So I will entertain the motion, Jamie.
First motion, the town of Pownal purchase and conserve approximately 300 acres pending the VHCB approval. That'd be the first motion. You want me to read the second motion also? or-
Nope, let's do one at a time, so there's no confusion on that, and then I'll open up public comment.
We're not gonna vote on it right now.
No, so go ahead, read the second motion, Dean, we'll have them both, and then we'll open up public comment, that's probably the best way.
Right, we'll just
Yep,
have
all
to
right.
read the second one after we vote on the first one.
That's right, we'll reread the second one. So please, I'll entertain the second motion.
So the tentative second motion, will the town of Pownal, motion for the town of Pownal to purchase a 150-foot wide improved road for access to the forest parcel pending the VHCB approval funding for the purchase of the first motion.
So at this point, I'd like to open up public comment, Hannah, if anyone has it, and we're gonna try to limit it to 3 minutes. I don't see a lot of people in there is a few, so I certainly would,
Was more.
if we have some time, we're not gonna debate a lot, but I do want some public comment.
Oh,
Anybody with their hand up, Hannah?
No, nobody has their hand up.
Give it a couple more minutes or 20 more seconds or something. No hands?
No hands?
I will, motion number one, let's reread it, Jamie, and, get a second on that and we'll vote on it.
motion, the town of Pownal purchase and conserve approximately 300 acres pending VHC approval. This is the property that will connect the pre-existing town property on the mountain or forestry lands, from the tannery project.
Second.
Any discussion by the board? Any comments by the board? All those in favor? Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. Perfect. I'll entertain the second motion again, we'll reread that.
The motion for the town of Pownal to purchase a 150-foot wide improved road for access to the land parcel, forest parcel, providing VHCB approval funding for that purchase.
Second.
Any discussion? Comments? All those in favor? Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. And just a couple of more things on this project. Thank you for your approval. And like I said, thank everyone. Thank you, Don, for the land trust working with us on this. The long-term vision for this property, I don't want to take a bunch of time. The long-term vision for this particular project and this particular property is, we have a grant out for, a pavilion on the property. There's a parking area involved in the road. There is gonna be some, ADA access, through, four-wheelers or side-by-sides, but it's gonna be ADA compliant. There's, some proposals for some solar chargers for people who are using the pavilion to charge cell phones and so on and so forth. There's 4 proposed, tent platforms at this time for the 1,000 acres, on the trail system up there. It's a major project. To me, it's really exciting. Everyone who's been involved in it has really been excited about the project. And of course, it all is contingent on funding from outside sources, not taxpayer money. But it's what the town has strived for a long time. And, if things work out, we've put it together and it's really a cool project. Statewide, it's a really cool project.
It's a great project, and you've done a great job working on it. It's been so great working with this whole board. Anytime we can work with a community that has a big vision for something and is really willing to put out for that vision, it's a complete pleasure. So thank you for pulling it all together, and let's just hope we get that funding next week. And if we do, then we'll move forward, and you could have an amazing resource to start working on by the summer.
Thank you for your.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. And thank Tara and Hannah and Rebecca and, all of you guys, all of us. This has been the VHCB, the land trust. Everyone who's worked on this has been, been really, really supportive, you know, right from Parks and Rec. I mean, I spoke to Jennifer on this because it's gonna kind of change the footbridge into a road. Before you know, pursued this, you know, we had pursued some of it, but before I went too hard with it, I spoke with Jennifer because she's worked really hard on the bridge project and I didn't want her to be left out of this project, so she's very supportive. Joel's been involved in the road portion of it, so there's a lot of moving parts.
The rec committee wrote a wonderful letter of support, which went in with the application for funding. So if we get the funding, they will, you know, have been a part of that. And Hoorah also wrote a really great letter of support. So those two pieces, I think, are an important part of the application.
Nice, and like I said, I included Jennifer in this whole project, didn't want to leave her out.
Right.
She works hard on the Parks and Rec. So, great, I'm excited. Let's hope for the funding, you know, and we'll continue our communication back and forth and we'll make this happen.
Sounds good.
Great,
Sounds great.
excellent. Thank you, Donald. Thank you for everything.
All right, I'm gonna say goodnight.
All right.
Any more business? Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I'd like to open up public comment, for the rest of the meeting.
On this, or just?
Nope, nope, we're good. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Donald.
Jim, you can go ahead.
Hi, guys. I'm Jim Cosas, North Mason Hill Road. First of all, I just want to make sure I heard it correctly that the audit RFP is for the fiscal year 22, which ended last June.
Yes.
Oh, so we don't have an auditor yet to audit that period.
Well, Bonadil, was under contract with us and they're, not able to do it, so that's.
Okay, so did they break their contract or their agreement?
They've had some extenuating circumstances.
Okay, so I guess my question now, since this is an open public, I'd like to just state that I don't think we're reporting the revenue that's coming in for penalty delinquent fees correctly. And when you do get an auditor that is hired for the fiscal year 22, I'd like to just make sure that somehow I get a formal explanation if the fees and the expenses can be handled through the liability directly, or if also, and I don't mind it going through the liability for reconciliation, but I was just wondering if another entry, which I've seen in other towns, and I also have a CPA opinion that other governments in Vermont do handle making sure that it is expensed and there is also revenue in there. So I'm not questioning the treasurer, I'm not questioning anything else. I'm just questioning the change in the procedure of not reporting it as a revenue and expense.
And Jim, I can actually speak to that, right now, if that's okay with you.
Sure, go ahead.
So the 2021 audit included that. That was a change that was required by the audit to make it, cleaner in the way they wanted to see it. So it has actually, that being done has actually already been audited once. I understand it wasn't a full year of it happening that way, but that was a change that happened when Tim was here. And it has been audited and it's legitimately the way it should be done.
Okay. I still like to have an opinion come from the new auditors that come in, because in a sense, it's kind of not having full disclosure to the townspeople of monies that are coming into the town. Checks are being written out to Pownal. They should be reported as revenue to the town. I think that there may be a problem with reporting wages to the government that are not showing up as an expense. So the W-2s, full total will not be showing up as a total amount that's being expenses. Yes, I mean, we're trying to go with government approvals and stuff like that and reporting of stuff. So again, I just like to have the next auditor that is hired, since we're so late now, just kind of give an explanation, and hopefully at the time that he does a presentation to the town. That's all I'm asking. I'm not questioning it, other than to say, I've just never seen a town take in money and not report it as an expense or a revenue. So thank you very much. Oh, and just one last thing. Congratulations on the last executive session and what happened there. I just want to make sure you guys understand. I do praise you guys for what you are doing, and I only question things that I just wonder is not happening. So thank you, Mike, and have a good night.
Have a good night, Jim.
Thank you.
Any more hands up here?
No other public comment.
No more public comment?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll entertain that motion, good. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, Angie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Mike? Aye. And we're out of here before 8, sorry guys, 2 minutes to spare. We got a lot done tonight, we really did, I'm really excited.
So we're gonna have a special